Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
So, I'm gonna do this a second time. I don't care who's listening. I don't care who's watching. I have to talk about this. So, I watched the movie The Ring. Okay, no, wait. I watched the movie Rings. I keep wanting to say The Ring, but that's not right. So, I watched the movie Rings. Rings is directed by F.J. Gutierrez. F. Javier Gutierrez, however the fuck. So, Rings. Rings is about a young woman that's on the receiving end of a terrifying curse that threatens her life in the end of 7 days. Yes, that's what it says on the website. It's about this girl, Julia, who goes and helps her boyfriend, Holt, who had gone off away to college, and he had joined some type of weird study that had to do with the videotape, which I found that very interesting. That's how they took the story. And so she, in order to save his life, she watches the video, and it has to do with her journey through the movie trying to figure out about Samara, which, again, is very typical. I knew when I found out they were making Rings, I was so disappointed because here they go again, making another movie because they have so much money, they could just make another movie. Yeah, go for it. I could see it's easy money. It's just creating a whole new story. Before I get into it, I was debating whether or not to talk about this movie because I wasn't such a big fan of it. But since I am a horror junkie, of course I had to watch the movie and do this video. So I'm start off with the positive things. First is the actress, Matilda Anna. She's fairly new. I saw that she only's done some Italian movies. I could see her doing some. She looks like the girl from Star Wars. No, I'm sorry. She looks like the girl from. She looks like Khaleesi, a little bit, but she made this movie in a sense that she really did save the story because she made it very believable, and she's fairly new into the game. So yeah, that was one of the positives. She was a really great actress. She cried good. She was just maybe way too pretty. And also the other actor named Alex Rowe, he's her counterpart. He plays Holt. He's really new too. Vincent D'Onofrio, he plays Burke in this movie, which I'm not going to give too much detail about what exactly he does in it, but to me, Vincent is way too famous. He's done so many movies that they need to give it a rest a little bit. I could see right through him. He was just, to me, so famous. He always plays the bad guy in every movie. Fact, this movie was filmed in Atlanta, which I thought was very interesting. And because I live here, and if I would have known, I would have followed the set, and I would have loved to be an extra or something. The second positive is the music score. I felt that the music really made the scenes and gave the scenes an extra effect because the story plot to me was a little bit too weak, very generic, very typical of what the movies nowadays are doing. This movie to me, which is probably right now I'm gearing into the negatives because this movie to me is a prime example of Hollywood's movie vomit. That's what I like to call it. They keep popping out these movies that are saying like every other movie, every other superhero remake, just a different version of another movie. To me, it's lazy, which Francis Ford Coppola talks in an interview, which I'm going to put the link, but he talks in an interview and talks about the movie industry and what it is now and how it was back then, which I find it very interesting. I felt this movie was very impersonal. I felt no connection to it. I was even looking at videos of the director talking about the movie, and to me, it felt very disconnected. Second negative for me would be the special effects. Some scenes were very unnecessary. It made it look fake, and that is what I hate about horror movies sometimes. If it looks way too fake. I felt some of the stuff was way unnecessary. They didn't have to use special effects. They could have just used raw, like Exorcism of Emily Rose. It was so raw. It looked real. They should have used the same special effects company for that one. This movie has the same producers as the original The Ring, which I found very interesting, even though the movies weren't similar at all. I was also disappointed about the story plot. They geared the story in a way that was already told before. They just changed the version up a little bit. The only thing that this movie really made me want to do is go watch the other movies again, because I want to connect the stories. I felt that they were disconnected. I felt they threw off the other story plots about Samara's life. I thought I heard somewhere that Samara didn't have a father. In the birth certificate, there was no father. So to me, that made her creepier, as if she was the devil's child. And they should have played into that. They should have asked me to write it. That's what they should have done. I felt they should have made it more demonic. Yeah. That's the only thing I really had to say about it. I wouldn't buy this movie again. I really wouldn't buy it. I mean, on some real shit. That's what I'm here, talking about the real stuff. It was a good movie for what it was, the budget, the company. They made a good amount of money on it. It just seemed very factory setting. Like, it really did. Rings is a story written by Koji Suzuki from Japan. He is the Stephen King of Japan, which he doesn't like that. Well, I read he doesn't like being called that, but I read an article about him saying that he wasn't a really big fan of horror, which I found very interesting and also upsetting, because it made me lose that illusion of his creepiness. Yeah, how can you write horror and also write this? His other books, the sequels to The Ring, the original book, he made them more technological, he says. So I would be curious about reading that, even though I might not. Probably not. My thoughts on the movie are shoulda, coulda, wouldas. They should have done this, they should have done that, or they would have done that. That's really all to say. It's my opinion, so I'm neither wrong nor right. What? Hold on. I'm neither wrong nor right. So I recommend this movie if you have no other movie to watch. That's it. I'm sure I'm not the only one, like everybody else, who has been waiting to watch this movie since the trailer came out, because just like I am, you as well were curious about what this was gonna look like. So I'm just gonna get into it because what's going on? You want food, don't you? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go feed you. I grew up on The Ring. That movie scared the shit out of me when I was a little girl. Like really, really bad. So I knew that this movie, I was going into this movie with an open mind because I'm a big fan of horror. It was just so obvious what was going to happen. It was just really obvious to me. It was not that scary, but it was entertainable. It was entertaining, but it was not that scary. So that's why I'm disappointed. I want to be freaked the fuck out. For real. I do. I guess I would say I wouldn't buy this movie. I'm probably going to end it right there. Because that's when when, in my opinion, obviously, that I would buy a movie. Is if I really, really liked it. These movies, I know they're extensions of the story. They were inspired by the story. So it's their own version of what Samara would be like. So I appreciate it for what it was. Which I say, there wasn't too many scares in this movie. So if you're looking for something that's going to terrify the shit out of you, this is not it. Go watch The Ring.